This, of course, begs the question of how things change and what the peace looks like with an earlier treaty. The first thing that comes to mind is that the war doesn't cause the collapse of the Russian Empire when it did. It was the unpopularity of the war in Russia that was the tipping point for the revolution in 1917. In this alternate scenario, the war is over before this can happen. If anything, Russia probably at least tries to make territorial gains in the territory of the Central Powers. With Eastern Poland under Russian control, there's probably interest in Western Poland. And similar things could be said about Western Armenia, especially in the aftermath of the Armenian Genocide. I see the war bringing out the end of the genocide when the Ottomans are defeated, and Russia would be able to use this as a pretense to try to occupy those lands. It's difficult to say how any of this would go, however. Russia's participation in the war was not exactly the most effective. Even in this scenario, they'd probably be seen as having tied down some German forces being the most valuable contribution rather than any actual gains. Persia would be another interesting region to look at. Both the British and the Russians went into Persia during our timeline. I can imagine that something of a showdown over the region might have taken place. The Russians would have a particular interest in Iranian Azerbaijan and probably the Caspian Sea coast. While I think that still Imperial Britain might have had designs on the whole thing, even if not for annexation, for influence in a key region of the world, one would have to think that the British would quickly gain the upper hand and they'd enjoy dominance in the region fairly quickly. I think it's likely in this timeline that we don't see Reza Shah come to power, with their British-influenced government ruling the nation. The interference of the Russians and British probably still sees the Persian famine take place. Elsewhere, the dying Ottoman Empire would be put out of its misery, just like in our timeline. The Austro-Hungarian Empire would be broken up in a manner very similar to what happened in our timeline. I think the biggest question, however, is what would have happened to Germany?